Have you ever left a conversation feeling completely drained, as if a part of your light was just dimmed? It's a feeling many of us know, that unsettling sense that an interaction, which seemed perfectly normal on the surface, left a ghost of unease in its wake. It might have been a new friend who subtly made you question your worth, a colleague whose advice felt more like a subtle put-down, or a family member whose helpfulness left you feeling powerless. It's easy to dismiss these moments, to tell ourselves we're being too sensitive or that we're overthinking things. But what if that feeling is your deepest instinct trying to warn you? What if some people, without even realizing it, are walking shadows, unconsciously spreading their own unhealed darkness into the world? Imagine if every person came with a clear label. Warning, this person's kindness comes with a need to control you. Or, caution, this individual's need for order will stifle your creativity. The world would be so much clearer, wouldn't it? But people don't come with warning signs. Instead, we learn the hard way. We give our energy, our vulnerability, and our trust to those who can't help but consume it. We confuse manipulation with love, and we mistake control for care. But what if you could learn to read the invisible signs? What if you could develop an inner compass so finely tuned that it could instantly detect these shadow personalities? What if this knowledge didn't just protect you from others, but also revealed a profound truth about yourself? The legendary Swiss psychiatrist, Carl Jung, dedicated his life to exploring the deepest parts of the human mind, the unconscious. He taught us that we all have a shadow, the parts of ourselves we deny, reject, and hide away. And he gave us a profound and powerful warning, that the most dangerous people are often the ones who are most disconnected from their own shadows. Because what we deny in ourselves, we project onto others, creating invisible traps for everyone around us. So today, we're going on a journey to explore 5 of the most dangerous personality types that Jung warned us about. They aren't villains from a movie, they are people who exist in our daily lives, friends, partners, colleagues, and even family. By the end of this video, you won't just be able to spot them. You'll understand why their behavior is a reflection of their own internal conflict, and most importantly, you will learn how to protect your energy, your creativity, and your soul from their unconscious influence. This isn't just about pointing fingers. This is a journey to radical self-awareness. It's about recognizing these patterns in the world and, in doing so, reclaiming the parts of yourself that have been lost in the chaos. The 5 shadow personalities. Type 1, the perpetual rescuer. On the surface, this person seems like a gift from the heavens. They are the first to offer help, the last to leave your side when you're in trouble. They are the ultimate caregivers, always ready with a solution, a shoulder to cry on, or a helping hand. Their life is an endless loop of coming to the rescue, and their identity is so wrapped up in being a savior, that it's almost impossible to see the darkness lurking beneath. Jung would say that this person is driven not by genuine compassion but by a deep-seated need to be needed. Their shadow side is a feeling of worthlessness or emptiness. They cannot face their own internal void, so they fill it by making others dependent on them. Their kindness, while seemingly selfless, is a subtle contract. I will help you, but in return, you must remain in a state where you always need me. Think about it. Have you ever been in a relationship with someone who gave you everything but then guilt you for not appreciating them enough? Who offered a solution but then got upset when you found your own? Their help is not about your growth, it's about their own sense of purpose. When you start to become independent, when you find your own way, they subtly sabotage your progress. They might plant seeds of doubt, make you feel ungrateful, or create a new crisis to pull you back into their web of helpfulness. This dynamic is not love, it's possession. True love celebrates your wings, it doesn't clip them. The danger of the perpetual rescuer is that you will unconsciously shrink yourself to fit their needs. You'll stay small and dependent because their ego depends on it. You'll lose your ability to rely on yourself. To protect yourself from this type, you must become your own rescuer. You must set boundaries and learn to say no, even when it feels like you're hurting their feelings. Remember, real support empowers you to stand on your own 2 feet, not to stay on your knees. It's a difficult lesson to learn because we are taught from a young age that we should accept help when it's offered. But with the perpetual rescuer, you are not receiving help, you are signing a lease for your own dependency. The best thing you can do for them, and for yourself, is to break that cycle. Type 2, the disconnected idealist. This type is often found in spiritual or self-help communities. They speak in affirmations, use words like vibration and manifestation, and believe that every problem can be solved with the right mindset. They are always positive, always smiling, and always believe that everything is happening for a reason. But when you bring a real problem to them, grief, anxiety, or anger, they immediately dismiss it with a hollow platitude. Your soul chose this experience. Just raise your frequency. Everything is love. Jung would call this a form of spiritual bypassing. This is a person who uses spiritual ideas to avoid facing their own pain and emotional complexity. They have not integrated their shadow, they have simply put a shiny, New Age label over it. The danger of the disconnected idealist is that they will gaslight you into believing your pain is a flaw. They will make you feel as if your struggles are a result of your own lack of positive thinking. Instead of offering empathy and a safe space to feel your emotions, they offer an invalidating script. They will convince you that being fully human, with all your messiness, your sadness, and your anger, is a spiritual failure. True spiritual growth isn't about denying the darkness, it's about embracing it. It's about recognizing that you can be both light and shadow, both joy and sorrow. The disconnected idealist has not done this work. They are afraid of their own pain, and they will run from yours too. Their positivity is not genuine, it's a defense mechanism. They use it as a shield to avoid the uncomfortable reality of life's struggles. If you encounter this type, be cautious. Don't let their platitudes invalidate your very real human experience. Instead, seek out people who can hold space for your pain without trying to fix it or reframe it. True healers don't offer empty words, they offer a presence that allows you to feel everything, knowing that all of it is part of your journey to wholeness. They understand that wisdom is found not just in the light but also in the long, difficult walks through the dark. Type 3, the unquestioning conformist. At first glance, this person seems harmless. They are respectful of authority, they follow the rules, and they always seem to know the right way to do things. They may appear disciplined, reliable, and responsible. Teachers love them, managers promote them, and society calls them good citizens. However, Jung would see a major red flag here. The unquestioning conformist is someone who has sacrificed their own individuality for the sake of safety and belonging. They are not following the rules out of strength, they are following them out of fear. Their shadow is their own authentic voice and their wild, untamed spirit. They are terrified of being different, of standing out, of challenging the status quo. The danger of this type is not just in their conformity but in their need for you to conform as well. Your freedom, your originality, and your willingness to question everything are a direct threat to their fragile sense of order. When you think outside the box, when you refuse to follow the latest trend, or when you challenge a flawed system, you are a walking, talking reminder of the parts of themselves they have buried. As a result, they will subtly and not so subtly shame you for your uniqueness. They will label you as weird, rebellious, or difficult. They will use gossip, criticism, and social pressure to try and bring you back into the herd. Their discomfort has nothing to do with you and everything to do with the fact that your courage is forcing them to confront their own cowardice. If you spend too much time around the unquestioning conformist, you will begin to shrink yourself. You'll silence your own truth to avoid conflict. You'll trade your authenticity for their approval. Remember Jung's warning, growth never comes from blind conformity. It comes from courage. The courage to think, to question, to create. The conformist lives in a cage of their own making and will try to convince you that their cage is the safest place for you too. But you were born with a soul that longs to be free. Don't let their fear become your prison. Type 4, the covert critic. The covert critic is a master of disguise. They don't openly insult you. Instead, they use a series of subtle, passive-aggressive remarks to chip away at your self-esteem. They are masters of the backhanded compliment, that dress is so brave of you to wear. Or, you got a promotion. Well, I guess someone had to get it. Their criticism is wrapped in a thin layer of sugar, and their attacks are so subtle that you are often left wondering if you imagined it. Jung would say this person's shadow is their own unacknowledged jealousy, insecurity, and fear of failure. Instead of facing their own shortcomings, they project them onto others. They cannot bear to see someone else's success, so they try to diminish it. Their words are not about you, they are a window into their own unhealed pain. They don't want to see you succeed because your light shines too brightly on their own darkness. The danger of the covert critic is that their attacks are so subtle you often don't see them coming. You may find yourself feeling insecure and doubtful, but you won't be able to pinpoint why. You may start to second-guess yourself, your choices, and your abilities. You may even begin to internalize their criticisms, believing that you are indeed not enough. To protect yourself from this type, you must become radically aware of your own emotions. Learn to trust your intuition. If someone's words leave you feeling small and confused, don't dismiss it. Look for the pattern. The moment you name their behavior for what it is, a subtle attempt to tear you down, you take away its power. Your success is not a threat to the world, it is a gift. Never let someone else's shadow convince you otherwise. True confidence comes not from external validation but from an internal knowing of your own worth. The covert critic is powerless against someone who has already found their own inner strength. Type 5, the emotional numbist. This person is terrified of feeling anything. They have built a life around distraction, busyness, and constant stimulation. They are always at a party, always on their phone, always needing to be doing something. They use substances, endless entertainment, or work to avoid the silence of their own minds. When you sit with them in a moment of genuine stillness or vulnerability, they will quickly become uncomfortable. Jung would say this person's shadow is their own unprocessed trauma and buried emotions. They are so afraid of their own pain that they will do anything to avoid it. They don't just numb themselves, they will unconsciously encourage you to numb yourself as well. When you show up as your authentic self, with all your beautiful, messy emotions, you become a mirror. Your vulnerability exposes their avoidance. Your clarity exposes their escape. The danger of the emotional numbist is that they will subtly and not so subtly discourage you from your own emotional journey. They will make jokes about your therapy sessions, make fun of you for being too sensitive, or pressure you to just have fun when you are trying to be present. They will try to pull you into their vortex of distraction and avoidance because your emotional awareness is a direct threat to their fragile reality. To protect yourself from this type, you must become an advocate for your own emotional health. Refuse to be pulled into their avoidance strategies. Honor your feelings, even when they are uncomfortable. Remember that true strength isn't about ignoring your pain, it's about having the courage to face it. The emotional numbist is on a frantic search for relief, but they are looking in all the wrong places. True peace is found not in running away from your feelings but in sitting with them until they transform. The unifying thread, the collective shadow. You might be thinking, okay, I see these people everywhere. But Jung's teaching went much deeper. He taught us that these 5 types are not just separate personalities. They are all different manifestations of the same thing, an unintegrated shadow. Every person who projects their darkness onto you is doing so because they have not faced it within themselves. The perpetual rescuer cannot face their own emptiness. The disconnected idealist cannot face their own pain. The unquestioning conformist cannot face their own wild spirit. The covert critic cannot face their own insecurities. And the emotional numbist cannot face their own trauma. But here is the most profound part of Jung's wisdom: if these people trigger you, it's not just about them. It's also about you. As Jung said, everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. These shadow personalities are mirrors. They are showing you not only who they are but also what parts of you are still unintegrated. That's why these 5 types have such power over us. They trigger something in us that is unhealed. Maybe you too have a little bit of the rescuer in you, and their smothering love reminds you of your own need to be needed. Maybe you have a part of you that wants to conform, and their conformity reminds you of a choice you made to be different, and the fear that came with it. So, this isn't just about spotting them. It's about using them as teachers. It's about asking yourself, what part of me do they reflect? Where have I done the same thing? The moment you recognize the pattern, you take back your power. This is the path to wholeness. It's not about becoming perfect, it's about becoming conscious. It's about owning every part of yourself, even the parts you don't like. Because when you own your own shadow, no one else can use theirs against you. Their projections no longer stick. Their manipulations no longer work. This is the deeper pattern Jung wanted us to see. These types are not just warnings, they are invitations. Invitations to radical self-honesty, to integration, to wholeness. The broader picture, our shared shadow. These 5 personalities aren't just a collection of individual quirks, they are symptoms of a larger societal sickness. Look around our modern world. We are living in an era of cultural shadow. On social media, we see endless streams of polished perfectionism, highlight reels that hide the messiness of real life, making us feel inadequate by comparison. In our workplaces, we meet unquestioning conformists who kill innovation in the name of efficiency and order. Our relationships are often built on the unspoken contract of the perpetual rescuer, where we are valued for our usefulness, not our inherent worth. At our parties and gatherings, the emotional numbist reigns supreme, pushing us towards escapism rather than genuine connection. And in the digital echo chambers of our communities, the disconnected idealist offers empty spiritual slogans that erase the very real struggles of humanity. It's no accident. These are the collective unconscious at play, a widespread denial of our shared vulnerabilities. But here's the good news: the more conscious we become as individuals, the more we can change the culture around us. You have the power to break these patterns. You have the power to refuse to be a rescuer, to instead foster true independence in others. You have the power to be emotionally present, to hold space for genuine feeling instead of encouraging numbing. You have the power to question the rules and create your own path. You have the power to be real and authentic instead of chasing a flawless facade. Your personal journey is part of a larger transformation. By doing your own shadow work, you are not only healing yourself, you are contributing to the healing of the world. Conclusion: reclaiming your power and your path. We've explored 5 of the most dangerous personality types that Carl Jung warned us about: the perpetual rescuer, the disconnected idealist, the unquestioning conformist, the covert critic, and the emotional numbist. At first glance, it may feel like these are external enemies, people you must avoid, outsmart, or cut out of your life. But the truth goes much deeper. If you take away one single lesson from this exploration, let it be this: these people are not just out there, they are also reflections of what exists within you. They are not only challenges to protect yourself from, they are mirrors pointing you back to your own unexamined shadows. Carl Jung's greatest insight was that the shadow is never only in the other, it is always in us as well. And until we are brave enough to look at our own unconscious patterns, we will continue to attract these dynamics again and again, almost as if fate itself were conspiring against us. The perpetual rescuer shows us our hidden hunger for validation, that deep human desire to feel worthy by being needed. When we notice this in others, we are invited to ask, where am I trying to earn love instead of simply receiving it? The disconnected idealist challenges us to pursue a spirituality that is raw, grounded, and real, one that can embrace both our joy and our deepest heartbreak. They remind us that true transcendence does not mean escaping life, but fully living it. The unquestioning conformist reflects back our own fear of standing apart, of daring to live authentically, even when society whispers for us to play it safe. Their presence dares us to answer, am I living my own truth, or am I simply following a script written by someone else? The covert critic awakens us to the critic that lives within our own minds. Their backhanded remarks remind us of the voices we often use on ourselves, the subtle ways we tear down our own worth. Facing them is an invitation to radical self-love, the kind that silences the inner saboteur once and for all. And the emotional numbist teaches us perhaps the hardest lesson of all, that the only path to true freedom is through the heart, through the uncomfortable process of feeling our grief, our anger, our loss, and our longing. For what we refuse to feel will always control us in silence. Jung's ultimate warning was never about demonizing others. It was about becoming so conscious of your own inner world that no shadow, yours or someone else's, could ever dominate you again. The more you integrate your own darkness, the less power anyone else's shadow has over you. That is when your true light begins to shine, not as a fragile flame that can be blown out, but as a steady fire that nothing can extinguish. So now, I want to turn the mirror back to you. Which of these 5 types resonated with you the most? Not only in the people around you, but in yourself. Where have you seen these patterns quietly shaping your relationships, your choices, even your identity? The moment you recognize it is the moment everything changes. Because awareness is the key that unlocks the prison of unconsciousness. When you see the pattern, you no longer live as a victim of fate, you step forward as the master of your own destiny. And here's the truth, this is not the end of the journey. It's only the very beginning. To live a conscious life is not a one-time revelation, but a lifelong path of courage, curiosity, and self-discovery. Every step you take toward integrating your shadow is a step toward wholeness, freedom, and authentic power. But this path is not meant to be walked alone. If today's exploration sparked something inside you, if it challenged you, stirred you, or left you with more questions than answers, then you are ready for the next stage. Backhand index pointing right. In my other videos, we go even deeper, into the hidden archetypes that silently drive our decisions, into the subtle signs that show you whether someone is truly authentic or simply playing a role, and into the exact methods Jung left us for turning the shadow into light. The real question is this: if these 5 types are only the beginning, what else lies hidden in the depths of human nature? What other shadows are shaping your life, your relationships, and your future, right now, without you even realizing it? The only way to find out is to keep going.